Okay, so today we're going to give you a quick demonstration on how to create a peer-to-peer private wiki application. So this is basically a very simple wiki style app that you can share your wiki with anybody that you're connected to over the Newbound network. All right, so let's dive right into the code here. First thing we're going to do is we're going to add some header data here to our HTML, basically pull in some style sheets, pull in some stock JavaScript, set the viewport. We're also going to pull in our connection bar there that's built into the Newbound network. You can just reference those two files and it'll allow you to build a connection bar which lists all your peers across the top of the screen there. And we'll go ahead and we'll create some HTML here in our body. First of all, we're going to create a page for jQuery Mobile. We're going to create a header for jQuery Mobile, and here we're going to create a little section where we can put our connection bar, and we're going to create a section here for our sidebar where we have here on the side we've got our devices and our topics for our wiki. We're going to go ahead and create an area for breadcrumbs, so as you travel down into subtopics, it can give you a breadcrumbs, a path back, tell you where you are, that sort of thing. We're going to create a place where we can display the current topic that you're looking at. We're going to add in there, we're going to add an area to display the title of the topic, an area for the metadata of the topic. So for example here, I don't know if you can see this, but it tells you the version and who the author is and when it was created. We're going to create a horizontal rule, an area for subtopics where all the subtopics of the current topic get listed. Inside that, we're going to add a text field so you can input the a new subtopic's name and a button to add that subtopic. And we're going to create our button bar here on the side where our edit button lives. And finally, we're going to create a section for editing the topic, and in there we're going to have a text field for the title and a text area for the actual text of our wiki entry topic there. And we're going to add a button bar for the edit area where we can save the topic or cancel that out. And now that's it for our HTML. We're going to add a little bit of JavaScript here. First thing, we're going to set up some variables, some global variables that we're going to use in our application. We're going to hold on to the current user in terms of their display name. We're going to just have some default values here in case things go awry. We're also going to hold on to their username. We're going to hold on to the current topic ID. We're going to set the top level topic to main topic, right? And that's just kind of hard coded so that we've got an anchor that we can pull the main topic, the top topic here, which basically has the title of the wiki and some introductory text here. And we're going to hold on to the JSON object that represents our current topic. And then we're going to, this here is for our peer-to-peer capability. I'll get into this in a little bit, but basically if we're looking at the local device, we don't need a prefix for our URL when we do AJAX calls. All right, so now when our page is created, we're going to do a quick call to the security bot's current user function or command. And basically what that's going to return is information on who's logged in. and we're going to pull out the username and stuff it in our global variable there. And basically, if we're not logged in, we're going to redirect them to the login page. And then we're going to grab the display name for our user. We're going to call the connection.js build connection bar function. We're going to pass in the peer list div so that it can build our connection bar in the peer list. And then we're going to pass in a callback function. Once the list of peers has been retrieved, we're going to build our list of devices here. And you can see I'm not connected to any devices running this app, but we'll get to that function in a second. And then finally, we're going to build the list of topics, and that basically is all of the available topics that are on our wiki here. Now, this is a fresh install, so there are no topics yet. This is what it looks like when you first launch the app. All right, so now we're going to create a function called call. And basically, this is going to be a wrapper for our JSON command, which is built into the Newbound network. And basically what it's going to do is it's going to add our current prefix onto the command and then call whatever command we passed in with the parameters and the callback that we passed in. All right, so now we're going to go into our build devices function, and this is where we build the list of devices that we're both connected to and also have wikis. So basically, we're going to, since this gets called multiple times, we're going to do some CSS cleanup here to remove the selected from any of the devices, and we're going to probably unnecessary, but anyway, we're going to set the device list to we're going to add the local device. It's all hard-coded in there. And then we're going to, basically if the current device is local, which when we first start out it is, we're going to add the selected, DL selected class to it. And that basically changes the hover and color behavior there. All right, so now, since we called our build connection bar function from the connections.js file, that stuffs the list of peers that we're connected to into a div that it creates called PC peer list. So we're just going to yank that list of peers off of that, and we're going to iterate through all of the peers that we have defined on this device. And we're going to grab each one in turn, and we're going to call a function called check device on that peer. All right, so let's build that function, check device. So basically, we're going to first check, is the peer connected? If it is, we're going to call its bot manager read function. And basically, we're going to call, read its main topic out of its wiki database. And if the result is, if it's successful, if result status equals okay, then we know that they've got a wiki installed. So then we're going to append that device to our device list. And for each one, we got a class of DL device so that we can easily toggle our CSS on it, and we give it an ID so that we can refer to it specifically. And basically, if you click it, we're going to call select device and pass in the ID of that device. And basically, if this peer's ID is equal to the ID we have stored in the device global variable, then we're going to mark it as selected. All right, so now we're going to write the select device function. And basically, when someone clicks on one of these devices here on the side, that's what's going to get called, right? So we're gonna first remove the DL selected class from all of the devices that we have listed. And so then we're going to add it to the new device that we're selecting. And we're going to set the global variable to that new ID. All right, so if the ID is local, that means we're looking at the local machine. We set the prefix to an empty string. But if it's a remote device, then we're going to add a prefix that goes out to our local PeerBot, calls its remote function, passes in the ID of the device that we want to talk to, and refers to its bot manager app. And then finally, we're going to build the list of topics on the device that we are now connected to. All right, so let's take a look at the build topics function. First thing we're going to do is we're going to call read on our database, and we're going to pass in the database wiki. We're going to pass in our current topic, which when we start off is main topic, right? If we get an error, that means this is the first time that the wiki application has been run. So we don't have a top level main topic yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new database, and we're going to name it Wiki, and we're going to say only people who are in the Wiki group can read and write in this database, right? So now we're going to create a new top level main topic. We're going to remember the topic is set to main topic here. And we're going to call, we're going to set the title to whatever our username is, '(s). So it's their wiki. So for example, in this case, my name is Mark Reiser, and this is Mark Reiser's wiki. Welcome to my wiki. All right. So we're setting the text for our thing there. We're set the version out to version 1, and we store the username, the user, and we start out with an empty list of subtopics, right? Okay, so we're also going to add a timestamp to our wiki entry here, and then finally we're going to call the write command of our bot manager here, and we're going to pass in the wiki database, the ID of our topic, and we're going to specify that only people who are in the wiki group can read and write this to this data, and we're going to pass in the data that we just created, right? And we're assuming it succeeds. We're going to ignore the results. Okay, and then finally we're going to call set topic to set the current topic to this topic that we just created. All right, and if the result status is not error, then that means we've already got a top level main topic for our wiki, and we're just going to call set topic on that topic data that we just got back. All right, so let's look at the set topic function. This gets called every time we click on a topic or a subtopic, and it selects that topic and basically displays it on our display here. So it's going to set the title and the text and the subtopics, etc. Right? So, okay. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to set our global variable to the ID of our new topic, and we're going to store the data, the JSON data of our topic, into this data global variable. Right? We're going to set the display title. We're also going to set the edit title. We're going to set the metadata for it. Remember, that's this version 1 by me on today's date. And then we're going to set the display entry and the edit entry areas. Okay, we're going to clear out the subtopic area, and we're going to basically, if we have subtopics, if we don't have subtopics, we're just going to say, hey, we don't have any subtopics. But if we do, we're gonna build our subtopics. And basically, if we're at the top level, we're gonna clear out our topic area here and rebuild it as well. All right. And so then we're gonna call build subtopics. Now, build subtopics is recursive, so we're gonna pass it basically the index of the first subtopic, and then we'll iterate through it, through all of the subtopics there. And then finally, we're going to build our breadcrumbs. And that's as you tunnel down into subtopics, you get basically breadcrumbs that allow you to indicate, you know, where you are in the hierarchy and navigate back. All right, so let's look at our build subtopics function here. Here, we're just going to grab the ID of the subtopic at the specified index, right? So we start with 0. We're going to call read, and we're going to pass in the ID of the subtopic that we want to fetch, right? We're going to grab that result data, and we're going to create a new link for that title that calls the select topic for that topic's ID, right? We're going to stuff that into the display area for our subtopics, and basically we're checking to see if our topic is main topic. If we're currently looking at the main topic, then we want to build this nav bar here on the side as well. So we append that in there if it is, and basically if we haven't gotten to the end of our list yet, we call build subtopics again with the next index. All right, now let's look at building our breadcrumbs. Very, very similar, right? But basically it's going in the opposite direction. It's navigating up instead of down here. So basically if our topic has a parent, then we're going to pull that parent topic data out of the database, and we're going to basically create a link for selecting that parent topic, and we're going to append it to we're going to basically tack that onto the beginning of what's in our breadcrumb, and then we're going to iterate with our new topic, and if it's got a parent, it'll append that onto the beginning and so forth. So it'll go all the way up to the top level main topic, which doesn't have a parent, and then it'll stop. All right, we're getting close to the end here. Select topic. This is what happens when you select a topic. First thing we do is we read it out of the database, and if it is in there, then we basically call set topic on that data that we pulled out of the database, right? And we already went through the set topic code there. If it's not in there for some reason, then something's really gone wrong, and we're going to alert the user to that. Okay, cancel edit. This is what happens when you go in here and you edit your data. If you made some changes and you're not happy with it, you just click cancel, and it wipes everything out. So if you go back there, it reverts back to its original state, right? So basically all we're doing is we're passing in the stored JSON data that we've got in our global variable, and we're calling set topic. So we're just resetting everything, and we're making sure that it's that the display is being shown and the edit is not. All right, so now our other button here in edit is save, right? So when we save our topic, we very simply just call the database, the write command of our bot manager, pass in the wiki database and the ID of our topic and the current version. So basically we're going to create a backup of the previous version when we save a new version, and we're just going to give it an ID of the original topic ID plus an underscore plus the version. So that way we have a version history, and we could conceivably go back to previous revisions or compare with the current version and that sort of thing, right? So we store the previous version in a new file, and now we're going to update our local JSON data with the new title, the new entry. We're going to increment the version by 1, and we're going to pass in the current username and password. So if somebody else has accessed our wiki and has made some changes, now they will be the author of this version of the topic. All right, so we're going to update our timestamp, and then we're going to write that topic with the topic ID out to the database, and we're going to call our cancel edit function because we've already updated our data, and so that will effectively reset us back to and display the display version of our topic, get us out of the edit area. All right, so let's take a look at the add subtopic function. Remember, that's what gets called here when we click add subtopic, right? And so let's go ahead and do that. All right, let's add that, and we'll go ahead and edit it. Okay, so you can see it's not only updated our text here, but it's also incremented our version to number 2. All right. So here's what happens when we clicked add subtopic. First of all, we create some JSON data. We pass in all of the values that it's expecting. We pass in a timestamp, and we write it out to the database. You'll notice that I'm passing in a database, but I'm not passing in an ID. And so if you don't pass an ID, it creates one for you that's globally unique. And so basically, we're going to add that to our local copy of the data, and we're of this new topic that we created. And in our parent topic, which is still selected, we're going to add this new ID, and we're going to write out our parent topic so that it stores the new subtopic. And basically, if our current topic was a main topic, then we need to add it to the list of topics here on our left sidebar here. So you can see that we did that. And so basically, we just add that into the topic list, and away we go. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to add some styles, because that's it. Literally, that's it for our JavaScript. Not a whole lot of code there. Now, the only thing I'm really going to say about my CSS is that you can probably tell by looking at my CSS that graphic design is not necessarily my forte. But we're going to make the cursor a pointer for any links, because we don't have any hrefs. We have all on clicks, and so it doesn't automatically change your cursor to a pointer. Never quite understood that, but it doesn't. So we're going to position and format our sidebar. We're going to add some CSS for our edit area and for our display area and for our button bar. Basically, if a device is selected, we're going to make its color and its hover color black. And here we, positioning our title, positioning our breadcrumbs, making them small, and our metadata, again, making it small, positioning it. And that is literally all of the code for our application. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out and I'm going to, basically you can see in my bot manager folder here, I'm in the data area. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to blow away the data that we've created so far and start from scratch. And I wanted to show you this also because basically all of the data that gets stored in the bot manager's data store is encrypted, and so it adds automatically an additional layer of security there for you. So I'm just going to go ahead and blow that away, and we're going to start from scratch here, logging in, and I'm going to go to our wiki page here, and okay, we've got a blank wiki, right? So welcome to my wiki. I'm going to add a subtopic here, and I'm going to go back. You can see we've got our breadcrumb here started. I'm going to add a subtopic, right? I'm going to go ahead and navigate back up, added some content here. Save. All right, so I'm going to go back to our top level and add another subtopic. Right, so we've got a couple of topics here, and going back up to the top level, let's just add a blurg. All right, so now we got a blurg. Okay, so now we're going to go out to a remote device and log in there, over there as a different user. And what we're going to do is we're going to basically do the same hack that we did last time with the chat app in our previous video. But this time we're going to, instead of pointing it to the filebots HTML directory, we're going to point it at the bot managers HTML directory. So there we go, HTML and add. All right, so now that we've done that, we can go out to that directory and we can grab our wiki.html file here and copy that out there. And now let's see if it works. And there we have it. It's Joe Users Wiki. Now, recall that for our peer-to-peer functionality, we require that the users, the remote users that connect up here, that they have to be part of the wiki group. So let's go ahead and add here on the remote machine, let's go ahead and add my local machine as a wiki user. So my local machine here is called WorksMac Mini, and we're just going to add this new group called Wiki, and we're a member of it, and update. Okay, so now we are in the wiki group. So if we go back to our my local device here, and I connect out to Adele, which is the remote device that we just added it to, right? Now you can see Adele's got a wiki. So if we click on that, there we have Joe Users Wiki, and we can edit it in any way we want. So there you have it, folks. I hope I've demonstrated just how quick and easy it is to create secure, dynamic, collaborative applications with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript using the Newbound network.